32 teams, 32 boroughs, 32 kings. It was all a dream until we woke y'all up while the fat lady sings. We gon' count these dimes, 7 partners in crime, 7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken, put 100 on the T's with the streak for the cash, ESPN. Skinny the comedian and thespian, spitting jokes faster than a Tommy gun. But somehow Lucius is the only funny one. Seth Curry with the shot. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you.
Thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road, hosted by the League Ambassadors. I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and it is my pleasure to be here today with my brothers. This is episode 25, the second episode of season 2 of our show. And on today's show, we are going. This is going to be a good show. We got the NFL season preview 2017.
I would argue it's been a good show already. Cameras weren't on.
Cameras weren't on.
Turn them off.
As a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. Please visit our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. Also visit our website, theleagueam.com. Check out and contribute to Diplomatic Community. That's the place where fans in all shapes, colors, and sizes can leave their feedback and write notes on whatever they feel like is going on in the world of sports. Also, please click on previews on our website.
Yes.
Chef Curry is back in effect with his NFL game write-ups. It is a new season, and so he's in the game. Also, later on this week, please check out our Week 1 picks. This is a live show reminder to Dev. Dev, we got to get the picks in. Yeah. And then finally, please. Yeah.
That was a real moment.
Yeah, that was a real moment. Finally, please rate, share, and download our podcast wherever you consume them. Let's get this exciting show started with Ambassador Roll Call. A skin to the mind bender.
Hollywood skin is back.
He's got one glove on. What you sipping on over there, brother?
Exactly. Explain that.
Well, it had one name when I walked in, THCT, but after you got to it, it's called ha. I'm drinking ha for the rest of the hour.
Explain that.
Explain it.
Wow.
So what I'm sipping on is Philadelphia has got a new beer. It's called Dallas Sucks. It's a pale ale. It's great for first downs and big hits. And Dak Prescott breaking his leg. I just said that. It didn't say it. That's just me. But yeah, you can find it in Philly at Jose Pistola's. So shout out to Jose. We're gonna drink some more half for you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh God, Junior Blue, what you sipping on?
Ken,
Junior Blue, what you sipping on, baby?
Hey, I'm sipping on this French vanilla Ciroc. Yeah.
Diddy, come holler at us.
Hey, come holler at us.
Actually, I'm gonna come holler at you, Revolt TV, in a minute.
And I'm sipping on how the people in Houston and all around the U.S. came together to help the flood victims, and we are not speaking to you, Joel Orstein, because you didn't do shit. But it's crazy how it takes natural disasters and death for people to come together. Yeah. We need to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah. How much did J.J. Watt?
He raised like
I think he's up to almost 20 million now. Yeah.
And the owners for the Chargers pledged how much?
How much they pledge?
Not talking about the Chargers. AFC East. I'm thankful. That's one last time I got to speak about that.
I mean, I know.
$500K.
Well, you know, James Harden did $1 million.
Yeah.
I think Beyonce did $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, they came together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walmart's killing it. Walmart said $2 for every dollar that's donated. Plus, they're donating a certain X amount of million. And then Michael Dell, that's his hometown. I think he's like 20 million in
Hey, but think about this. Then assholes like Best Buy want to charge $60
for the water.
for a case of water.
Price
Crazy.
gouging. Yeah.
Can we say happy birthday to Les before?
Happy birthday, Junior Blue.
Happy
Junior
birthday.
blood.
Hey, I reached that 4-0 club.
He up
to
there.
that.
What you got?
He up there,
Kevin.
He up there with Omar.
Nothing.
Dad, what you sipping on over there, brother?
Shout out to my sponsor, Kenyon. Supplying us with hey, that could go a couple ways.
I'm in here like a Jamaican. Hey, I'm in here like a Jamaican. We got drinks. We got THC. We got a show to host.
Yeah.
We got assignments. What you drinking?
I'm drinking on Mr. Sailor Jerry.
92 proof.
Out of a mason jar.
Out of a mason jar.
Thank you, Rena.
Yeah. Shout out to Network Studios. Last week, I was sipping on them orange birds. This week, I'm sipping on them purple and black ones. Now, we've had a shit ton of injuries like we talked about last week. Everything has come together right before the season. All the big hitters are back.
Hey.
There you go, Kev. Flacco's back. Perriman's back. Woodhead is back. So I'm just excited football is here, and I love our chances. I can't wait to hear the prognostications of the AFC North.
Well, I'm sipping on, sadly, the Los Angeles Dodgers. I am happily sipping on Sailor Jerry.
That ain't just Jerry.
But the Dodgers, 9 of 10 guys, and I'm talking to you, Omar and Les.
I'm not talking
We had a 21-game lead. It's now down to 12.
Is it still 12?
Right. We got Labor Day massacred, 13-0 yesterday. And I'm a little concerned. I got to tell you, I'm a little concerned. This is the wrong time to be heading south.
It is.
So, anyway,
Not as concerned as you, but I understand your pain.
what you sipping on, Redo?
I'm sipping on Cedre with a little bit of that Diddy juice up in there. Probably shouldn't have said that. Damn.
Whoa!
we are live. Remember, we are live.
Diddy juice? Diddy like, I'm not hollering at you.
Hey!
Clean it up, baby. Come on.
As he holds the phallic symbol.
You know what? So, not 1/4, 1/2, or 3/4. Herb Simon is a whole whore. The owner of the Indiana Pacers.
Oh!
No, I knew you were
Listen,
No, I knew he
listen. No, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, I know the name, Herb Simon, but I'm blanking. Yeah, fuck you. Whole ass Herb Simon.
Is this a Laker thing?
Yes.
That's why I don't give a fuck. Okay. All right.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Good job.
I had to climb out of that hole.
Chef Curry. Oh, God. Chef Curry, what you sipping on, baby?
What's up, guys? I'm sipping on this ice cold Modelo. It was in the freezer.
It looks like it.
Not only that, in honor of DACA. You're sipping on Modelo. See what I did there,
Hang
Kev?
on.
Come on, man.
You stay there.
Come on, I'm locked in, baby.
But so our main sipping on topic for today's show, I think it's only fitting, being the young gun in the group, that we kick off this show discussing the rookie class of 2017. So last year we had guys like Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley, Joey Bosa, Tyreek Hill become household names, play key roles for their teams. And this season, it's a handful of guys being thrusted into the action the same way. So I'm going to pose a question to the group. After what you saw in training camp or preseason, which rookies from this draft class has the best chance to make an immediate impact on their team?
Well, whether he likes or wants to or not, Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah.
Make an immediate impact because he beat out garbage to win the spot. He's a starting quarterback for the
Is he the
Cleveland.
grass to the dirt?
Oh, man.
I mean, wasn't he the one that talked like I got the body of
Yes.
Yes.
he was.
Cam Newton? And
This is a
Mom?
great time on the season preview show to bring up that quote, and we're going to see at the end of the season
Yeah.
if it's real or not.
Yes, I mean, he has no choice but to make impact, whether it's negatively or positively.
That's a good point. I think by the end of the season we're going to
Watson.
have a new white superhero in America. His name is going to be Christian McCaffrey. Christian, and I actually said this. I said this 2 years ago after he had when he really went off and he was on the Heisman hype. When that boy gets to the NFL, and if he doesn't even have to like be great, he just has to be good. And
But
they are
actually, I think he's going to be great though. Like he's going to be a very good player.
I think it'll come down to usage because the thing is, Reggie Bush fell into this same trap when he got drafted by New Orleans, which is schematically he's going to be such a tool for them just from a scheme standpoint and getting the defense to move, almost decoyish. So that's I think where the thing is. But he's definitely a good player. He's got the goods, but I don't know if he's going to be able to produce as much.
But I actually think he's a better football player at this point than Reggie Bush was when he came in.
I'm just saying. The only reason why I'm bringing up Reggie, don't go there. Bruin fan.
No. That's real spit.
No, I'm just saying. No,
Reggie had to become better.
Yeah, but Reggie was also the reason why they took him is he was more of a decoy, and I think it remains to be seen whether they
you might be giving Riverboat too much credit.
Well, Mike Shula calls a play. I think Riverboat need to just focus on timeouts.
I actually had Dalvin Cook. I mean,
Okay.
with the defense that Minnesota has, games should be close. They should give him the ball.
He's looked really good in the preseason.
So, and I didn't want to say it, but T.J. Watt too. He might wreak havoc on that division.
Well, he already took James Harrison's
exactly.
spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like 45.
I think Kaiser is going to start off with the biggest impact. By the end of the season, Watson is going to be running the show in Houston.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I think Mahomes also going to surpass.
Yeah.
Let me.
Hey.
Okay.
Let me. You get it. Foreshadowing. Let me ask you this though, and I'll put it back to you, Kev. If Deshaun Watson and even Patrick Mahomes, if they have emerged by the end of the season and they're running the show, is that mean that it was a good season in Houston and a good season in Kansas City, or does it mean that because both of those teams, just without thinking too deeply in it, are slated to be playoff teams? But if the rookies are in position and they're playing well, does that then mean that both of those teams didn't have a good season, or do you think it's possible that they could emerge and lead them into the playoffs?
Well, you look at what happened with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. Granted, he got benched for a younger, more athletic quarterback, and they ended up making the playoffs, ultimately making a run to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I think in either case, if they make that switch to quarterback, I think it happens early to still give them a chance. And both of those teams are talented enough to where if they make that change at quarterback, those guys can be carried by their supporting cast and ultimately still be playing important games late into the season.
By week what? What's the deadline?
Depending on who we're talking about. Savage, I got by about 2:30 on Sunday. If it ain't clicking, get him up out of there. For Mahomes, I would say maybe like late November, December, if they're still trying to make that push, but Alex Smith can't open up that offense the way they need him to, then maybe they make that change.
The answer is already there.
All right. Well, before we get into our season preview, because we're definitely chomping at the bit, because we're getting ready to do Omar's segment before he.
No. I just want y'all to stop talking about it.
I know. Let's get into the Brexit Bootbag award winner. Les, I'm throwing it to you, baby.
Oh man.
This week, Brexit Bootbag winner is Rashid Hageman.
What's his name?
Former Atlanta Falcon, because he was released during his domestic violence investigation through the NFL. Now, we know since Ray Rice, the NFL has been trying their best to crack down on this. So what this man does, he drags his baby mama through the parking lot, throws her to the ground in front of their child. So then he snatches the phone from her so she cannot call 911. It still happened because he still got caught. Now, the problem I have with this is he actually got charged with misdemeanor crime of interfering with an emergency call, battery, family violence, and cruelty to children. Do you know how much it was for him to get out? $7,500. That's all it took. Cruelty to children, dragging somebody in a parking lot, and I can get fined more for throwing trash out on the 10 freeway.
What state was this in?
Georgia.
Yeah,
It's crazy. But yeah, he is the
Because
Brexit.
we love our liquor and we beat our women.
So he is the Brexit Bootbag winner for the week.
We're not even going to golf clap for that.
He might
It's
be
just-
nominee for the year.
He might be the nominee for the
But
year.
my thing is this: like, why did the Falcons act like they said they didn't have any data, right, to make an assessment prior to when this shit happened? I mean, when they came to this release, they can find out how many abortions you done suggested in college and how many crab legs you done stole, but they can't find out about this shit.
Right.
Come on now.
I think it was probably one. It feels like it was one of those things where they thought it was going to get swept under the rug, and then
Second round pick.
second round pick, and then it didn't. All
I have
right.
to add, I love that bootbag music. I love to hear Omar freestyle over that beat.
You sound a little bitter.
All right, let's get into our NFL season preview. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before. Basically, it's 3 questions out there. Number 1, who's booked for the bottom in your division? Number 2, who is the most important player? Not necessarily most valuable, but who will be the most important player in the division? And then finally, whose record are you taking to the bank? We're going to start with the NFC. We'll start with the NFC West. Ambassador Dad, you are up. And now start with who do you have in this illustrious division? Who do you have booked for the bottom?
This was a tough one, America and the UK. So hard to figure out who's going to be booked for the bottom. I'm fucking with you. It's the 49ers.
Okay.
It's the 49ers. I think they're on the right path, but the cupboard is still bare. We talked about that last season for the prescription. But I can tell you this. Brian Hoyer is going to have an excellent fantasy year.
What round did you draft him?
Oh, hella late. No, I didn't actually.
No, he's a waiver wire pickup.
He's my
But you just
backup
find that right matchup, baby.
man, because he's gonna be throwing for his life. So they're definitely 100% booked for the bottom.
They're booked for the bottom. Okay, and then whose record are you taking to the bank?
I'm actually gonna go on record and say that Seattle,
Okay.
who I actually have winning the division, will go 10-6.
10-6? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reason being is because the rest of the division, I don't know. What are
You don't want to go 10-5-1?
like what you did there? No, that's not gonna happen again.
No, actually, the official answer is somewhere between.
Somewhere between.
10-6 and 11-5.
You're right about that.
Public school moments brought to you by Red Dot.
So I think they win it again. The Cards, they're basically all hinged on the success of Carson Palmer,
Okay.
and we proved that last year that he was snake bitten from the NFC Championship game in 2015. So depending on how he goes, I mean that dumpster fire could keep going. I think me and Kev's cousin David Johnson could potentially have
That
a
is not your
sophomore
cousin.
slump.
He is so much browner than both of you.
Hey,
At the same time, DJ J. Johnson is your uncle, the old cornerback from the Steelers.
yeah. So
Oh, shit. Wow. That's
Hey, Dev, don't listen to him, man.
nah, I'm keeping it moving. So I think I can book that because I mean they do have a couple of tough games on the road specifically. They start off with the Packers on the road.
right.
They play the Titans on the road. They play the Giants and the Cowboys.
These
on
are
the
the
road.
Seahawks you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
but I think their division, although the Rams always give them problems, Mr. Donald hasn't showed up yet, and he's hell bent on staying out. And I mean, granted, you're still in that rookie deal, but if you're top 15 in the entire league voted by your peers and number 1 at your position, but you're paid 600th most in the league, you got a gripe. So they're already suffering on the offense side. The defense is going to be good, but him being out, I mean,
You got What's your thoughts on when he gets back?
Well, I mean, it's going to be some growing pains, but he's the best person in that position in the league. So I think he maybe takes him a few weeks once he gets back. But I mean, they're not going to miss a beat.
Most important player in the division?
Who's the left tackle for the Seahawks?
I think it's Matt Tobin.
It might be Matt Tobin, actually, because he came from Philly.
Whoever is manning that position
Is the most important player because
they're opening up this year. It's Russell's show. They're passing. If he's not good, then they're screwed.
Then Russell's running.
It's gonna be the Russell
doing.
Run show.
With that money hat team on.
let's move to the.
Hey, doesn't he look like a narc? Nobody commented on that.
Yes.
Bad undercover.
He does look like a
They
narc.
rebooted Miami
The
Vice or
the
something.
high school kind of narc, though.
Yeah,
like, he's walking the halls of campus. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, just Google Russell Wilson at the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight. And
But does anyone have any grass to purchase?
Why did Richard Sherman take the picture with him? Look like he walked just out the J. Crew.
they were crossed up.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Let's move to the NFC South, where home of the runner-up Atlanta Falcons are there. Junior Blue, you had the NFC South. Who's booked for the bottom, sir?
Actually, this was difficult. I had the Saints book for the bottom just because their defense is horrible and
Putrid.
And Drew Brees' arm, I don't know how much longer it could last. 5,000 yards is not in his future.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
You got
right.
to put up numbers this year, though. For me.
You know,
I don't think 5,000 gonna happen again.
what do you think about Adrian Peterson? Is he going to have any sort of an impact? Does he take Mark Ingram's job, or is he
No, he
just a
doesn't.
bust? He doesn't
He's
take.
a bust. Mark Ingram.
Does Alvin
will stay.
Kamara take Mark
exactly.
Ingram's job?
They're going to be split in three ways: between Kamara, between Ingram, and between Peterson.
So then let me ask you this. Doesn't that then help the Drew Brees situation? Because now Sean Payton, because really Sean Payton, when they won the Super Bowl, they were a very balanced team. They had Reggie Bush with Deuce McAllister with who was Pierre Thomas? Was that the other one? So if there was a good
Deuce McAllister was
He said Deuce McAllister.
Hey, but the
That
problem
was
is
when Aaron Brooks was a quarterback, wasn't it?
No, Deuce was there too.
Deuce was there?
Yes.
As a coach?
Super Bowl? Super Bowl.
2009.
Super Bowl.
He was there in 2009.
Shit.
Stop.
Good call. If
No
he was.
way.
But
Someone
but
Google that.
the difference is they had
no way Deuce was selling cars by then.
Hey, he got a pretty good restaurant in New Orleans too.
they had Kill the Head and the Body Will Die. That helped.
Fair enough.
The
They don't
problem-
have that.
the
I'm
problem
just
is-
saying it would help Drew Brees.
But
so
the problem is, if the defense is giving up sevens every time down the field,
Right.
what's the running game going to do?
Understood. Okay.
Keep the defense off the field.
Whose record are you taking to the bank?
The Bucks 9-7.
Is that a playoff 9-7, or
That
is it a
is-
bullshit 9-7?
That is a bullshit 9-7.
Okay. Oh wow.
That's
all
a
right.
bullshit
9-7. Okay.
Talk about
Most
that.
important player in the division?
Most important player I have is Cam Newton because he could flip this division upside down. If he plays like 2015 Cam, then Panthers can make it somewhere. They could actually possibly win the division. If he plays like 2016 Cam, it's not going to happen.
Real quick, bonus question. You have Atlanta repeating?
I have Atlanta repeating. That was a struggle because they have the fifth hardest schedule in the league. If Carson Palmer was shook after the championship NFC championship game, what's Matt Ryan gonna be after the Super Bowl?
He's got a really good attitude. There's a really, for those of you that haven't had a chance to read it,
The commercial?
not even the commercial. He had a good interview with Peter King, Sports Illustrated, and he basically said, "Hey, our coach said you got to flush it down the toilet." He said he watched it 3 times with the week after the Super Bowl and just let it go.
And then what's Steve gonna do?
Sark, Cuddy Sark,
Steve the Sipper?
in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
in Atlanta.
Go Trojans, go.
That's why it was a difficult decision.
Okay.
But I do have them winning it.
All right. Next up, we have the NFC North, which we're all going to tackle. And the question I'll put to you guys now, I'll go to you first, Red O. Let's see what he says. The question I have for you guys with the NFC North, because it's pretty cut and dry. The Packers are by far the best team in the division. Give me the team with the best chance to unseat the Packers Redo.
Come on, dog. Stop playing. The Packers.
Are the best. Hey,
They have to beat themselves.
Talk about it.
Because
this is why we exist. To give you shit that's out the box. Talk about it.
And fuck you fast.
And I wanted to ask you first.
You were gonna jump in anyway.
Right, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Kev, give me a team.
By default, I went with the Lions just because they are the only other team in that division that's not offensively challenged. Sorry, Omar, but let's call a spade a spade. I don't see Chicago having a chance. Minnesota is, I think somebody pointed out before, solid defense, got some weapons offensively with receivers and running backs, but I just don't think Sam Bradford can carry them and take the shots downfield that they need. With Detroit, they run and gun like they did last year. They very well could sneak in the playoffs like they did in 2016. But other than them, nobody else really has a shot.
Let's get into the mind bender. Who you got? You got a team? Best chance to unseat the Packers in the North.
By default, the Vikings, but I don't believe that. Because
That was my answer.
Really? The Vikings? Dev?
but they're going to be the best of the shittiest that's left over.
Right.
Because they do have weapons, but they don't have an O-line. They just cut their best O-lineman, and he just signed with the 49ers.
With the 49ers,
Alex Boone.
Yeah.
So Bradford's on his back. Dalvin's not going to have any. Yeah, we already know what that looks like.
Listen, guys, don't make fun of me. Just hear me out. I think it's the Chicago Bears. I'll tell you why.
Oh.
Defensively,
I said that last season.
listen,
I'm going to sip on that one.
listen. I think
the Bears have the best defense in the division.
Thank you. Okay, and they added Akeem Hicks.
You talking about
hold
Minnesota?
on. No,
They
hold
have
on.
the best defense in the division,
Listen,
hands down.
and they added Akeem Hicks.
So how many wins is that?
Listen to me. Hold on,
Take
Skinny.
it to the bank, 8-8.
Listen.
Cut the hair.
Oh,
God.
You want to do this again?
Are we?
You want to do this again?
Here we go. Here we go.
I ain't saying no this time. Whatever you want to do.
Motherfucker, you had your chance.
Oh, no.
You had your
You
chance.
presented this
You had
to
your
me.
chance. You had your chance.
Turn them on.
You bitched out. You had your chance.
Listen.
Why you walking back?
Leonard Floyd. I've got Leonard Floyd down for 13 plus sacks this season. They added Prince Amukamara, Marcus Cooper, underrated from Arizona, Akeem Hicks. Their defense was already good. But then offensively, here's the thing. They don't have a number one receiver, which
We had one.
you could cue the laugh track at this point. You could cue the laugh track or
Kevin White.
shut up. Or you can look at it this way, which is what effectively Detroit has done. With no number one receiver, you have no one to key on. Dwell Loggins will be able to scheme up the advantages on the outside. And with Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen,
Who for a D22 player
is legit.
Why are you gassing him up like this?
No, I'm not. This will be the ultimate troll job, right?
93
But I'm
octane.
serious.
This is very skip based.
No, it's not scary. Hey, I'm insulted.
No, he does a good job of trying to sell
I
some
don't
bullshit.
listen.
No.
I don't think we can beat the Packers.
This is the team with the
But I
best
think we can
chance to
be number
unseat
2
the
in the
Packers.
division.
Listen. You guys heard. And the thing for a quarterback like Mike Glennon, that's all you need. That's
Who's the quarterback?
Mike Glennon.
Oh.
He got downs, but it's okay. Listen, he doesn't have no fault.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a PG-rated show. I apologize
we
for
got to
any
move on
groups.
from that.
We'll move. NFC East. Okay, let's.
This is what happens when you try to say the Bears go win the game.
Listen.
I'm drinking my juice.
Hey, he stretched the hell out of that shit.
Hey,
Milked that cow.
But
okay, when they.
I feel him. We're going to be better than y'all think we are.
Okay, I'm just
Hey,
They're
saying.
gonna be better than
Yeah.
3 and
Hey,
13.
Nate.
Yeah.
What we betting?
Hey,
What do you want to bet?
100.
100?
Mm-hmm.
200.
whoa, what's happening here?
Hold on, make that money. Just I'm
I
talking
said
to
what
my
I
man.
said.
Chicago Bears 8-8 is the bet.
8-8, or better than 8-8?
8-8.
I said 100.
$100.
Everybody here?
We heard it. It's
It's on tape,
all
baby.
over the world, baby.
We are live.
All right.
Get away from that.
Are
Let's
you accepting the bet?
Yes.
Okay, just check.
Okay, let's go to the NFC East, which you guys should have a little bit more faith in this question.
Look at Kevin.
And I'll start with you, Kev, Chef Curry. Most important position group in the division. Okay, is it the Cowboys secondary? Is it the Washington Redskins receivers? Or is it the backfield of the Giants or the Eagles? Most important position group in that division.
Before I go there, I'm just going to tell y'all that when Omar goes on a bender towards late October, we can't find him to film the show, I'm blaming all of you.
Hey,
Now-
I didn't bet him this year, so don't blame me.
The most important group in that division, in my opinion, is the Giants' backfield.
I agree with
I
you.
agree with him too.
Okay.
And I say that because the Giants have been a proven matchup problem for the Cowboys. They beat them twice last year. But their offense ultimately fell flat because, like you mentioned, lack of balance. Teams that go deep in the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, are balanced offensively, and they could not run the football. They relied too heavily on Eli Manning, Odell Beckham for the passing game, which made me realize that Eli's 36 years old.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is he aged quickly, or maybe we just didn't realize how fast his career went by. But when they rely too much on him, he has to throw the ball too often. They can't protect him. He's prone to strip sacks. He's prone to pick sixes, and ultimately they do fall apart. But I think he's at his best. You look at playoff Eli, Super Bowl Eli. He's best when he has a solid running game. You think back to Brandon Jacobs and the other guy. I can't remember his name, but they had the third down back.
The question is, do they have a solid running game?
Well, listen, they were 29th last year. If they can just get to middle of the road, with Paul Perkins, they're putting him out there. The real thing is this. Offensively, their offensive alignment is the same. It's 11 personnel. It's 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 tight end. So you're basically talking about draws and shots up the middle. Paul Perkins has explosion. Rashad Jennings didn't. If they can just get to middle of the road from a running back perspective to pair with, they will be a top 5 offense, number one. With the addition of Brandon Marshall on that outside, with Evan Ingram, pair that with the top 5 defense that they had where they brought everyone back. It's got to be the running game to everything that Kevin...
Their O-line is arguably worse than Minnesota's, though. Like, how do you defend against... How are they going to protect Eli or run the ball?
And go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I don't know if Paul Perkins is explosive.
Compared to Rashad Jennings?
Oh, okay. Okay, well, comparatively speaking, yes.
Comparatively speaking. They don't... Listen, they were 29th, so they were bad in the run. Just get to 20th. Any team 17 and 20th, because there's a thing. That's just enough because they're going to command so much attention on the outside. That's just enough success to where it won't matter. We're not expecting to be the Cowboys with Ezekiel
Elliott. O-line
Elliott.
is bad, but if their defense does what they're supposed to do, they'll get off the field, which means the offense will be on the field longer.
Best O-lineman they have is Eric Flowers,
And he sucks.
and he's playing the wrong position right now.
But I do have them winning the division.
So, who's most important position group for you, Les?
I actually had the Cowboys secondary.
Yes.
And
Okay.
the reason I say that is because the Giants
Third down.
the Giants made it to the playoffs with a horrible running game. Washington didn't make it to the playoffs with better wide receivers.
Okay.
So that's not going to matter. And Eagles, I mean, they took LeGarrette Blount, who probably won't even play
Tread carefully
much.
here.
Yeah.
He's
Probably
gonna
won't even
stab
play.
you.
Probably won't even play much.
That's cool.
So we don't know what the Cowboys secondary is going to be this year. They weren't great last year, and then they revamped the whole thing.
They lost
And we
Carr.
don't know what they have.
With rookies, yeah.
Yeah.
And you said, Skinny, you had the same thing, Cowboys secondary.
Yeah, Eagles upgraded the skills position specifically with wide receiver. The Redskins, it's kind of a question mark there. Jordan Reed is back, so is Jamison Crowder. You're not sure what you're getting out of Dotson. Terrell Pryor's there. You know, the Cowboys secondary, they don't have the pieces to match up. And then, the Giants, on paper, they should have the advantage because when Odell is finally healthy, I think. But did I hear Brandon Marshall messed up his shoulder or something like that?
It's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they got issues, in any sort of personnel, and I think that's going to be a big problem for the Cowboys because their defense is going to be to fill a lot.
Before I swing it to Redo to get his, Kevin, will you want to chime in on that?
No, I'm with the Giants.
Oh, you're with the
I-
Giants as well. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. So if the Giants' backfield is, like you said, Kenyon, middle of the road, average, and the Cowboys' secondary is the same, middle of the road, average, doesn't get them killed, but doesn't win games for them, which team's a better team?
Giants.
I think the Giants are. Ezekiel Elliott, the suspension got upheld. I know they're going to go through the court process, but it feels like with the Cowboys that they are going to take a step back. They won a lot of close games last year. The Giants, they're going to be a matchup nightmare for a lot of teams, and that defense is just better. And that's why, I mean, they're potentially a Super Bowl team if they can get that running game to the middle of the road.
Did McAdoo cut the stash yet? It's too hard to take him seriously with the porn stash, dog. It is.
Oh, man.
I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree.
All right, before we get to the AFC, real quick, round table, start with you, Iskender the Mindbender. We've got game 1 of the NFL season is actually coming up in a couple of days. The New England Patriots versus the New England.
Okay.
I put a little extra New England, a little sauce on it. Yeah.
Little Creole.
I put a little ha-ha on it.
Sponsored by Ha.
The New England Patriots.
by Reno.
I did it again, right? Okay.
Just go. Keep
The
going.
Pats versus the Chiefs, okay, at Gillette Stadium. How about that? Okay, let me ask it this way. Is anybody picking the Chiefs to win?
Mahomes.
Cricket.
Did you say somebody said Mahomes in
Yeah.
game 1?
He's picking them.
Pats are 4-0 in season openers after a Super Bowl victory.
Yeah.
And
Is it a beatdown?
and the Chiefs are 0-3 at Gillette Stadium.
Is it a beatdown?
I hope so. I got New
Kevin?
England for my
Oh,
fantasy.
we got one. We got a dissenter. Kevin, it's not a
No,
beatdown.
the Patriots are going to beat them, but I think it's a close game until the fourth quarter. I don't think they blow them out.
I think it's 27-17.
Kevin hit me with
I
the
had 17.
Yeah.
all-time equivocation right there. It's a close game until the fourth quarter.
I had 31-17.
17 points? Okay, and I don't want to...
Captain, check down.
Listen, I don't want to rain on the AFC West parade. The Kansas City Chiefs don't have any receivers. How are they scoring 17 points?
A punt return by
about Tyreek
by
Hill?
Tyreek Hill.
No, he's off special teams now because he's their number 1 receiver, which is another problem.
Jet sweep.
You know, that's a great move. Who's the coach to the Chiefs?
Andy Reid.
Who would make that type of decision?
Let's go to the AFC East. Let's stay with you, Skinny. You've got the AFC East.
Yeah.
Who's...
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This ought to be funny. You know what? I'm going to ask that question last. I'm not even going to ask it first.
No, ask it first. Whatever it is. Now.
Who's booked for the bottom, Skinny?
Anybody who isn't a Patriot. Next question.
Hey, how did all the teams get worse?
All of them.
Oh, I got you. Because the Jets are tanking. The Bills are trying to tank without anybody seeing.
Right.
And the Dolphins' season is tanked because their quarterback is Jay Cutler, a.k.a. Calais Kalu, whatever y'all
Caillou. Wait a minute. I think that's what's most interesting about this division. You have one team that is outright tanking. They're like, this is what we're doing. The Jets gave away Sheldon.
Gave him away.
To the Seahawks.
Gave him away.
The Buffalo, they're outright tanking too.
No. Buffalo's no, because they still got LaShawn McCoy, so they're being discreet about it.
Dog, they had a receiver retire because he was like, I'm not with this bullshit.
Who's trying to go to the Patriots?
Yep.
We're talking about Anquan Bolden.
As he should.
All right. Record you're taking to the bank?
12-4. Patriots.
4 losses. Talk. Okay, where?
They're getting 6 out the
Where?
division.
I know.
They're gonna be they're gonna be so far ahead because of where they play.
Nah.
Backpedaling.
I think by the last 2 games won't even matter.
That's not what they do.
Nah, you bullshitting. You bullshitting. Did you do your
They are-
research, Skinny?
they are
I
evil.
did.
Where are
Ask me the next question.
No, where are the 4 losses, Skinny?
Ask me the next question.
Where are the 4 losses?
Mexico's
Bruh, anybody who's not in the AFC East, that's where the 4 losses come from. Next
The
question.
other 12. Yeah.
Most important player in the division?
Bernard Pollard.
I'm done. I'm done.
Because unless one of the other 3 teams sign Bernard and he blows Brady's knee up, there is nothing to discuss here. Next question. Thank you for not giving me the Chargers.
He said Bernard Pollard. Let me ask a serious question, okay?
Hey, but you fucking with me now. You know where I'm coming from.
I know. Does anyone in here believe that Tom Brady could take a step back? Because we've not seen a quarterback over 40.
No.
Okay, thank you.
No.
I don't think he can take a step back. He works hard.
Really?
There was a
It looked too
moment.
easy.
There was a moment where in the preseason, I forgot the player who was coming at him. It was a good player, and he got separation from him, and it's because of the workouts he's doing. He's doing those band workouts. He had lateral movement. This not at 40 years old. He's not supposed to be able to do that.
A Lannister always repays his debts. He's not fucking Lannister.
He's not this year.
Not this year.
Nah, he's still good.
Kevin?
No, I don't think he takes a step back. I think, as I said on last show, I think they may struggle to replace Julian Edelman's production, but they've always done that. They plug in guys and
to me that's the most fascinating thing about the Patriots is that coming off of a Super Bowl, they were like, nah, we gonna press it. We press it. They are running hot at Vegas. They are at the table playing blackjack, running hot, and they said we pressing the bet. They added Brandon Cooks.
They got better in the second.
Rex Burkhead, Gilmore. Yeah.
And this is after blowing it with the Coney Ely trade.
Yeah.
And then I think the third round pick, their first pick in the draft, he blew his knee out.
Yeah, he blew his knee out.
They can do that because the Jets and Dolphins and the Bills are
dude from Alabama, right? No.
Was he from Alabama? I don't think it was Alabama.
No. It was under. They always draft undercover guys. They get the stars on the second go around.
I mean, I know Jay Cutler's there, but it's not like the Dolphins would have beat them if Jay Cutler wasn't there.
No, you're absolutely right. I thought they were going to go 6-10 anyway.
Yeah, it's.
Kev, you got the AFC South. Who's booked for the bottom in the AFC South?
Well, despite Skinny's criticism, I actually got the worst division from football last year. Book for the bottom, I picked the Indianapolis football team. With Andrew Luck missing game 1. Don't know how long he's going to be out. I don't know when he's coming back. And even if he does play, there isn't much else in Indy to be excited about. Even their center, Ryan Kelly, went down with foot surgery. And there's no one side on the football, offense, defense, special teams, that can carry them or at least give us hope like, hey, they can stay in games. I think they're booked for the bottom, definitely.
The flea bottom.
Give me the record that you're taking to the bank.
This was hard. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6-10.
Wow.
Six?
You
giving them 6 wins?
Bill, let me rock on this. So look, on paper, they have a top 5 defense that, unlike Indianapolis, I think can keep them in a lot of games, right?
Okay.
And they're lucky enough that they play the Jets.
One win.
Indianapolis twice.
They're winning both of those?
The Browns, the 49ers, they're winning at least 4 of those games.
All right.
The other 2,
Where?
I don't know where those wins are coming from. It's any given Sunday. I think the Jaguars take that leap. I wanted to give them 7-9, but I know where betting on the Jaguars on this TV show gets us. Not doing that again.
All right, 6-10 Jaguars. That's interesting. And your most important player in the division is?
Most important player is Mr. Marcus Mariota by far because he's the only quarterback in this division that we're certain of right now. And he's only played 2 seasons in his career. Last year, he was way too inconsistent. He did get hot like mid to late November to give them a fighting chance, but then he ultimately got hurt. They added so many pieces in free agency. Logan Ryan, James Cyprian.
The entire
Eric
Rams
Decker.
draft class.
Pretty much, right? Now I think he's set for a breakout season, and if he can stay healthy and avoid those sub 50% completion games, those sub 150-yard passing games, I think that the division isn't necessarily Houston's to run away with if he can take that next step.
Who are you curious? Who do you have winning the division, actually?
Man, Houston.
Okay.
I have Houston winning it because they're the most talented team. But I think Mariota's that X factor. If he can take that next step, and for whatever reason Houston's quarterback situation doesn't pan out, I think Tennessee could leapfrog them.
Okay.
So staying in the AFC, Mr. Kenny Ken, you have the AFC North.
I know you're interested.
So tell us.
He's an interested observer, you and Kev.
So, with what do you see here with who do you think is booked for the bottom?
Actually, I've got Cincinnati booked for the bottom.
Again?
Well, I mean, it's been Cleveland forever.
It's been Cleveland forever.
Well, that doesn't count, but... Okay.
Yeah, no, Cincinnati's booked for the bottom.
Flagellate, my brother.
4 wins.
Ooh.
Look at their first 5 games. They play the Ravens. That's a loss. Then they play the Texans on a short week. That's a Thursday night game, and the Texans will have a week off because they play the Pats on Thursday.
Right,
That's a loss. Then they go to Green Bay. That's a loss. They go to the Browns. They could lose that game. I have them winning, beating the Bills at home. The key game for them in this season, and it's not the key game for them, this is the key game for Marvin Lewis. The key game for them is going to be after the bye, they go to the Steelers because they could be 1-6 after 7 weeks, and I could see a coaching change. But I definitely have Cincinnati. I mean, bottom line, they lost their best player in the O-line. Kevin Zeitler went to the Browns.
Right.
And then they're depending on Cedric. He's an African. as their left tackle. He's an African.
Can you just give it a shot?
Ogbuhi, Cedric Ogbuhi, and then Jake.
We have a segment for this.
And then Jake Fisher, who couldn't unseat Eric Winston last year
Right.
as the right tackle.
So let me ask you this. So you feel like, obviously you think they're going to be shit. So this is definitely Marvin's last life.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Okay.
I think this is it. The defense is going to be on the field a lot. And Andy Dalton, because of that O-line, one of the deficiencies that he has is he does not move well in the pocket.
And what do we see when we watch them preseason at the crib?
Just
He can't get it down the field.
he can't get it down the field. So, 4-11, Cincinnati booked for the bottom.
And who do you think is the most important person in this division?
The most important player in this division, it is Joe Flacco.
Won't you say it again?
It's Joe Flacco.
He's waiting on that shit.
It's his health right now. It's a back injury; those can flare up. But the fact that he hasn't been able to practice. The thing that I see with Joe Flacco the most is that he's inconsistent from a mechanic standpoint, and he has not had an opportunity to work on that. And I just wonder. If it's a good Joe Flacco, Baltimore could potentially win the division. They could go on a really long playoff run. But if it's bad Joe or if Joe gets hurt, they could be competing with Cincinnati in terms of being booked for the bottom. It's all on Joe Flacco. By far most important. He is the key between them either winning 10 or 11 games or losing 10 or 11 games.
So
Can't disagree with you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he playing game one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started practice Saturday. So what's the record you can take to the bank?
You're not going to like this, but it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 12 wins. I got them at 12-4. All their tough games are going to be at home. They play the Pats at home. They play the Packers at home. They play the Titans at home. Offensively, they're going to be there. They got Martavis Bryant back. That's going to be huge for them offensively. Defensively, they did add Joe Hayden. I'm not that excited about it, but it's better. but it's better than what they've had. It's better than what they've had. The AFC North has that division has a pretty easy schedule, but again, I think the key thing is they've got all the tough games at home. I got them winning 12 games.
So do you have them winning the division?
Yeah, I do have them winning the division, but I see it's Joe Flacco. 2 playoff teams could get in, and it obviously be you guys and Pittsburgh, but for sure at 12 games, I think they're winning the division, 12-4.
By the way, Deuce McAllister was on the Super Bowl team.
Boom!
That his last fucking
It was his
last year. It's a great time to go out. It's a great time to go out.
Great time to go out.
Redo, you've got the AFC West.
Yes, sir.
Who is booked for the bottom, sir?
I'm actually going between 2 teams. I'm trying to figure it out.
Be careful. Junior Blue is sitting to my left now.
No.
Fresh bottle Ciroc.
I'm not worried.
I got the Raiders winning the division.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm either wait. What was the question? Book for the bottom?
That's right.
That's Broncos 8-8.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
At 8-8?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
The AFC West has the hardest schedule in the league. Hands down, hardest schedule in the league.
I can rock with you on that.
They're still going to win 8 games?
I think they're gonna win 8 games.
With Trevor Seaman?
They haven't.
I don't know. Somebody's back in town.
You know what?
And they
that
think
feels
so.
like a huge con job. We're gonna find out if there's gonna be ESPN 30 for 30 about how Brock Osweiler and the Broncos were in cahoots
to get paid.
John Elway said, "Go get your money and then come back. We'll bring you back."
We got you. Come back home.
Broncos 8-8. Record you're taking to the bank.
That's the one. I'm sorry. That's the one I was trying to go between 2 teams, which was between the Chargers and the Broncos.
You got to choose one though.
I know.
In between
I think
10 and 6.
Well, I think the Chargers are going to be 10-6.
10-6 Chargers.
I think they're gonna be
all
national
in with
division.
Anthony Lynn, baby.
Hey, I'm with you. Anthony Lynn might be shit.
Let me
but they'll
explain.
see-
I knew he was about to have
Let
a
me
problem.
explain. They lost 6 games by 6 points or less.
Here comes the argument right here.
6 points or less, right?
Yes.
They lost. It was a combined total of 20 points, and that's because one of those games had a 6-point loss. Phillip Rivers had the career most turnovers. He's gonna regress back to the mean. He's not gonna.
He was on the tape.
He's not throwing that many interceptions this year. Also, they had a kicker competition.
Oh,
And
he lost him a few.
They had a kicker competition.
This is trick bag,
And
guys. Here comes the gag.
Josh Lamb
Oh my God.
lost to Young Ho.
Who?
Young Ho.
Young Ho.
And if he's
Yo, time out.
wait, Young Ho Koo.
Do we have a
cool?
Young Hoku.
Young Ho Koo, right?
Tread
Wait, hold
carefully.
on. He's an undrafted kicker.
We've already made a Down
Right?
syndrome joke.
No. if there were more young hoes in the league, a lot of teams would have.
Hey, you know what?
I'm not finished. He's
I
great.
am. I'm getting my drink.
He's great at
Getting off the show
directional.
before they come get us.
He's great at directional kicking. And if you get
As a
So,
young hoe
so you saying
as a young hoe should be.
the young hoe knows how to work it? Is that what you saying?
if you lose
I couldn't
close
help it.
games
I couldn't help myself.
and you're able to pin players deep in their own territory,
A young hoe pinning balls.
that will help win games.
Oh my God.
And that's 6 games. They won 5 games last year.
See, and I just said Bernard Pollard.
I'm with you though. I'm with you though.
And
10 and 6.
if Jason Verrett is healthy, him and Casey Hayward
Yep.
can be the best cornerback tandem in the league.
All in with Anthony Lynn. Who's the most important player in the division?
Young Ho.
Shave and a haircut.
You know what the coldest
My
part
parents
is?
watch this show.
I'm sorry.
Next
I'm
time on
sorry.
Bad Name Ballers.
The worst part is his name is pronounced Young Way.
Oh, you just turned him into
It's
Young
just
Ho.
spelled Young Ho.
It's spelled Young Ho.
Younghoe. But it's
That's
pronounced
young hoe.
That is Young Ho.
Young hoe.
Is he the first Korean to be in the NFL?
First what?
undrafted.
Korean.
You,
Oh God. Hold up.
you's a funny dude. You real funny. Took that O off that real quick. Just chopped that in half.
Cold.
Didn't have to think about it at all. Knew what he had done.
Listen,
Down
let all
syndrome.
of our viewers know that after the show, we are all attending cultural sensitivity classes. We're going to learn from this. And be better men, we promise.
All right. So
Oh Lord.
again, we here at the League Ambassadors. We're not. We're not corny. We're not corny. So we're not going to sit here and try to predict 4 months out who's going to the Super Bowl because we all know football well enough to know that anything can happen. But what we do know is that for 11 consecutive seasons, there have been at least 4 teams who have made the playoffs in the previous year that don't make it the following year. Last year in 2016, we had the football team in Washington. We had the Minnesota Vikings, the Carolina Panthers, the Cincinnati Bengals, who had made it in 2015, but they didn't make it in 2016. And so my question to you guys, and I'll start with you, Askender the Mindbender. Who do you have? Who are your 2 teams in each conference that are not going to make the playoffs this season?
Detroit Lions.
Yep, I'm there.
Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
Really?
Stay
Told you,
there.
Kevin.
Stay there.
Atlanta Falcons.
Really?
Yeah. They can do all the stuff, we're over it. We move past it. Nah.
So you think they're shell-shocked?
Get out of here.
Is anybody else on that? Kevin, are you
no.
there, Kevin, too?
Only because we were forced to pick 2. Of course, I agree with the Lions. The Falcons were my wild card for the Carson Palmer reason. I think Matt Ryan may not bounce back from that.
So let me ask this. Is everybody in agreement about the Lions being one of the 2
Yes,
teams?
yes.
Okay, yeah, because I'm there, too. They're trash. But the Falcons, really, the Falcons.
I only have one team from the NFC. I think
Same
it
as
stands pat.
Yeah.
Except for the Lions.
You think it's
Yep.
I think it stands pat.
I actually had 1 from the NFC and 3 from the AFC.
who? Who's the third from
Who's your? Did you have a second team for the NFC?
Same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just the
Nobody's picking the Cowboys. Are you kidding me?
Nope.
No, they're the wild card.
Hey,
It's not like they don't have 2 good backup running backs.
It's not even about the running backs, though. Honestly, and I'll tell you, I feel like it's strategic. Kevin, and I'll come to you, Kevin. I think it's a strategic thing. They recognized that they needed to get younger defensively. They're young everywhere else. They've got talent everywhere else. So they got Taco Charlton, Jordan Lewis, Chidobe Awuzie. Okay, they lost a lot of vets on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to be in a lot of high-scoring shootout games, and I don't think the luck is going to be on their side. And
I don't think it's going to be luck.
I think they'll still take the air out of the ball. They still got the O-line. They got tandem running backs for 6 weeks.
And I think they open it up more for Dak.
You guys, I listen. I like this. Cowboys are not making the playoffs. Kev?
For the same exact reasons. Like I said, we were forced to pick two teams. The Cowboys was one that I thought of just because they aren't the best team in that division. Everything you mentioned about the defense, and if we have the stats from last year, when you put the ball in Dak's hands, as much as I love him, we love him on the show, you ask that guy to throw the ball more than 40, 45 times a game, they're going to be in trouble. I don't care who he's throwing to. So if we had to pick one, I think the Giants win that division. And the Cowboys, if we had to pick a team, is the second one that falls back.
And they got like 17 guys that are going to be suspended.
16.
Let's go to the AFC.
I think we're all unanimous on at least one team.
On the AFC?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. Yeah.
We might be unanimous.
No.
Houston.
Yeah.
Okay, so
too.
wait, no, we're not. We got some dissension here. Let's start, Kevin. Let's start. Who are your two? Yeah, let's start with your two teams, Kev.
My two were, of course, Miami, and the other one was Kansas City.
Amen.
Okay, we're on the same page.
That's what I got too. Kansas City too.
I have my
Les got three.
I had three. Remember?
Enough on offense.
So Kevin, Devin, Kenyon, Les, Miami, Kansas City, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Les got it. He always extra credit. He does. Yeah. The Chiefs don't have receivers straight up. Dolphins losing Vance Joseph on defense.
Yep.
Also Jay Ajayi. Okay, his season was made in 3 games last year. A month, whatever.
It was four. Yeah.
Okay, and then Jay Cutler.
And then that O-line took a hit. Brandon Albert's gone. They moved Tunsil out.
Did they move Tunsil out finally?
Did you also
No, he's not.
He's not ready.
Tunsil's not ready.
He's busy.
Eskinder, you had the Chiefs and Dolphins as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so we here. So Omar is the Lone Ranger. You had did you have the Dolphins?
Yeah,
three
the Dolphins.
And then the second team was the Texans.
Yes.
So who wins that division?
Tennessee. I had Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I have them winning it too, actually.
So if I don't understand if y'all have Tennessee winning,
Is that what
That's
was
what
that your
he's saying.
three?
He's saying
Was that your 3?
Yeah, that was my 3.
Texas could be the wild card. Texas wild card
because
team.
it's only going to be one out the East.
Straight up, yes.
Straight up.
Yep.
And then in the South,
You can have two.
you can have two in the South.
You
and
got two in the
North.
South and two in the North.
Okay.
And I think the AFC West will actually be one of the better divisions, but I think only one gets out. It's going to be competitive.
I think it'll be the Raiders, Chargers, and Kansas
So
City.
you got 3 teams coming in from the AFC West.
Yes.
All right, but the Texans, why? Why is that?
Because the Titans are taking it.
So you just don't.
So you don't think the Texans are going to have a bad year?
He's high on AFC West.
No, it's like this. The AFC South could be a bad division like it was last year, so only one team's going to get in. And that's what he's saying.
Okay.
Because the AFC West has 3.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
Well, yeah, Kev.
But I was going to say, I can't disagree with you guys about Houston just because if for some reason, let's say Tom Savage shits the bed like we think he will at some point. But then
Macho Man.
But then Deshaun Watson doesn't come up to speed, then they're basically the same team from last year. And if Tennessee is better, like we all think they will be, then it could just be one team out that division.
And that's why I asked you that question at the beginning of the show. If the rookie quarterbacks, particularly Mahomes and Watson, are playing a pivotal role in those teams, does that necessarily mean that it's a good thing for their season? Like, are they having a successful season?
I don't think Mahomes plays this year.
Okay, fair enough. Before we get out of here, let's prepare to get the shots ready. Closing shots. Number 1, episode 3 preview is coming, and that's basically we're going to talk about the Dolphins and the Saints. That's the Week 4 Wembley matchup. We're going to discuss common threads. But then real quick before we get out of here, and I'll start with you, Kevin, give me one under-the-radar player for your team in Baltimore that we need to watch out for.
Oh, man, that's a damn good question. I'll go with Mr. Jalen Hill, cornerback. I think he wears number 43. May fill in as a nickel and really help us out, especially with Tavon Young going down. He's had a hell of a preseason.
Devin, give me a guy.
Tyus Bowser.
Tyus, yes. Houston rookie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming off the edge.
Omar, give me a guy.
Mr. Adam Shaheen.
Adam Shaheen.
He won't start off as a starting tight end, but he will end the season as a starting tight end.
All right, Junior Blue, give me somebody for the Raiders.
Whatever middle linebacker we pick up for week 3.
A Skinner the Mindbender, give me somebody from the Eagles. Under the radar.
Derek Barnett.
Derek Barnett, rookie out of Tennessee. Really? Okay.
And Kenyon, San Diego Chargers or Los Angeles Chargers.
The Los Angeles Chargers. Watch out for Anthony Lynn. I'm all in with Anthony Lynn. And on that note, we're going to get out of here. We thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road. Please follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. Please visit our website, theleagueam.com, our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. We will see you next week. Cheerio.
32 kings. It was all a dream. Until we woke y'all up while the fat lady sings. We gon' count these dimes, 7 partners in crime. 7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken, put 100 on the T's with the streak for the cash. ESPN. Skinny the comedian, a thespian, spitting jokes faster than a Tommy gun. But somehow Lucius is the only funny one. Seth Curry with the shot. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the League Ambassadors, and we playing to win at the 2-yard line. And make no mistake, we running it in.